business there, and I consider myself a small business guy more so than a political guy, even though I've been in county government for 28 years. But I've just had the opportunity to live the American dream. It's just been a great learning experience, and it's been a great time to help people and help do the right thing in government.
Well, Mike, I've got a quote here I want to read about you in a moment, but you talked about your college degree. I just want to mention a few things about Gene's issues with college degrees in the past. And again, there's been some polling in the past, and over half the Republican voters in this primary think the character and integrity of the candidate are important. In 2006, the Ohio Elections Commission reprimanded Gene Schmidt. They said she had a, quote, reckless disregard for truth and that she made false and misleading statements. And the reason for this is because she had literature, and on her website she listed 2 college degrees. Turns out she only had 1, so she had a fake college degree. She went on television after she received the reprimand and she said, quote, this was a mistake some people made when they were helping me put together a website. Understandable, people help on campaigns. Maybe that could have happened. Only one problem with that, Mike. 1989, Gene Schmidt ran for township trustee in Claremont County. Got the newspaper article from the Batavia Sun right here. It says the candidates completed the questionnaires contained within, and within that, Gene Schmidt's questionnaire, which she completed herself, talks about her 2 college degrees and how they're going to help her when she's a trustee. So unless her and Al Gore had the same web developer in 1989, doesn't quite look like this was a mistake by a web developer, does it?
I don't think we had the web back in '89, did we?
We surely didn't, and thanks to people like Charles Foster Kane, the whistleblower, we knew other things about Gene. She got caught plagiarizing some op-ed pieces back in 06 and 08. She's just had issue after issue with integrity. She went on the House of the Representatives floor. She called it a decorated war hero. Regardless of what you think about him politically, he was a decorated war hero. Jack Murtha called him a coward on the floor. Then she turned around and she said that call came from somebody in the district who stated he never made the call. She called the situation at Walter Reed, quote, overblown. I mean, we can go on and on about Gene's character and her lies, and that's really all people think she's okay because her voting record, we've already talked about tonight, her voting record's not that strong either. So let me just bring it full circle. I want to read this quote. This is from Cooper Snyder, former state senator and honorary chairman of your campaign, Mike. Says, I have known Mike Kilburn for a great many years, and I cherish him as a wonderful public servant and a valued friend. The common sense principles he espouses are the ones you can believe in, because he does not change his tune for political advantage. He never has, and he never will. So, Mike, I'm assuming from Cooper, tell me a little bit about that relationship, and it sounds like what you say is what you mean, and I just want to make sure you have a chance to make that point tonight.
Well, before we do that, it's so very important for elected officials to always be truthful. I mean, that is the number one thing that's where you have to be. Some people will tell I won't say a lie, but some people will tell a fib when the truth would sound better, But, I remember something my dad always told me. He said, son, always tell the truth. He said, you'll never forget what you said if you tell the truth. But if you misrepresent yourself, you'll forget what you told the last guy.
And the Bible says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And isn't that the truth? Because if you never tell a lie, you don't have to try to figure out what your lie was. So.
Amen. And, that is so important. And I know that I think it's important that we send people who have good character and people who have good faith and people who know the scriptures. And I'm not a Bible scholar, but, there are things in the Bible that tell us how to live our life. And we need to do that. And the worst thing we can do is not be truthful. I want you to know that unlike Gene Schmidt, I will never represent to you my educational achievements. I will never call another member of Congress a coward on the floor of the House floor. And I will never fall over myself getting a photo of Barack Obama. And I will never agree to spend one dime of Obama's stimulus money. And that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
We believe you, Mike. We're going to cut to break, and we'll be back shortly with Mike Kilburn running for Congress, 2nd District. Thank you. Character candidate bias and integrity. Wanted to bring something up. We read that our good friend, the whistleblower Charles Foster Kane, mentioned this earlier in the week, said that Gene Schmidt's twin sister, Jennifer Black, was at the Claremont County Central Committee meeting this last week, and she said, quote, "We need some dirt on Kilburn, and we need it fast." Running around the room looking for dirt on you, Mike. I'm going to go back to Cooper Snyder's quote. It says, you know, you've got common sense principles. You believe in them. You don't change your tune for political advantage. You never have. You never will. Mike, what kind of dirt do you think they're going to find out? Sounds like they're getting desperate in this campaign. They're coming at you. What do you have to say? Let's preempt some of it.
Well, I guess they need it fast. We've only got another week left. But, you know, I've always tried to be fair and honest, and there is no dirt. And I just feel sorry for people that have to run a campaign like that. And that wasn't Gina who was saying that, but it came back to me that they heard her sister was making those comments. I think that's just kind of despicable, but I think, you know, bad seed comes back to you. So, you know, that's the kind of campaign that if they're desperate and that's what they want to try to talk about, then, you know, I'll pray for them.
Now, Cooper, he's got a great record. Talk a little bit about him. Talk about that relationship, if you will.
Oh, yeah, there was never a finer man than Cooper Snyder. Cooper grew up in Blanchester. His father started a hardware store there in Blanchester back in the 30s, and Cooper and his lovely wife, Dorothy, ran that store for many years. Cooper was on the school board in Blanchester, and when I believe his name was Bill Mussey at the time, he was state senator for the 6th Senate District. When he retired, Cooper was asked to run for that seat. Of course, my family all got on Cooper's bandwagon, and we got him elected. And Cooper served with distinction, I believe, for about 16 years. And just an absolute icon in the Senate. No one with more integrity than Cooper Snyder. And Cooper, if you're out there tonight, I just want to thank you for being my honorary chairman of this campaign. And you know, I hope I can serve with the same distinction you did in the Senate for so many years.
Well, that's great, Mike. I want to, again, remind people, KilburnToCongress.com, here with Mike Kilburn, running for Congress in the Republican primary, 2nd Congressional District, KilburnToCongress.com. Mike, let's get into an issue that not a lot of people know about Gene Schmidt, but I think it's important we talk about it. People need to be educated, and we need to hear your position on this. When Gene, in 2006, the Ohio Supreme Court told the Miami Township that they needed to get rid of a gun ban they had in parks. They said there was a case, it got overturned, and they said your gun ban has to go, so they removed it. Gun ban was passed in 1990. Okay, as we already established, 1989, Gene ran for a township trustee, and she was elected. I went and I looked at the records. The vote to implement the gun ban in the parks in Claremont County was a unanimous vote by all the trustees. Gene has run on her protection of the Second Amendment for years, trying to claim that she is a champion for all gun owners' rights. But Gene voted for a gun ban in 1990, Mike. What do you think about people that are willing to vote on gun bans? And her defenders say, hey, it was in a park. We don't want guns in parks. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's kind of like voting against it before you voted for it, isn't it? You know,
absolutely.
You know, if she's ever voted for a gun ban, then she can't be real pro Second Amendment person. Although the gun people have typically endorsed her campaign several times. But you know, if you'll pass any kind of a gun ban at any time in your public career, then that tells me that you're not solid on the Second Amendment.
Mike, do you think the crack dealer doing drugs in the park would adhere to the gun ban, or do you think it just takes guns away from the law-abiding citizens that may be in the park at that time?
Well, you know, it's established law in Ohio that people have the right to bear arms and for a concealed carry permit, and that they can carry a gun. You know, the bad guy's going to be in the park just as well as he's going to be down on Vine Street or wherever, and I will never, ever vote for any gun ban. I'll tell you that right now. You know, the Second Amendment is one of our most precious pieces of legislation. It's in the Constitution. It's a right that we have in our Constitution, and we can never, ever, ever give up the right to bear arms in this country. You know, we would have never had a First Amendment if we didn't have a Second Amendment.
Absolutely agree, Mike. And people don't, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Guns, for the law-abiding citizens need our guns.